I've compiled a list of 10 armor skills that, by putting just a single point in them, you can get some amazing benefits. We're not talking about skills that have a maximum of 1 point. That's a topic for another video. The skills on this list are ones that you could put more points into, but in most situations, you'll find them more useful with just a single point invested. Some of these are nice to max out, if you're into that sort of thing, but almost all these skills offer their biggest boost on a per point basis with their first point. So you can get a big chunk of their benefit with minimal skill point investment. In fact, you may even find a way to use all, or almost all, of these skills in the same build. So here they are, in no particular order. Number 10, Mail of Hellfire. This armor skill will give you 15 attack boost as long as you're on the red scroll. That's right, a single point of Mail of Hellfire gives you 15 to attack. Now I do have one warning for you. You will lose some defense in using this skill, and you have to stay on the red scroll to keep that 15 attack. If you switch to the blue scroll, you will get a boost to your element attack, but that's kind of weak. So the best thing to do with this armor skill is to stay on the red scroll. Number 9, Maximum Might. Now this skill gives you 10% affinity per point, and for weapons that don't really drain your stamina, this is the cheapest way to get 10% affinity. And often, it's the easiest way for you to get the last bit of affinity you need to make your 100% crit set. If you're trying to squeeze in 10 more affinity into your build, don't forget about Maximum Might. Number 8, Bloodlust. Any health leech is good, right? So 1 point of Bloodlust makes a noticeable difference in your health recovery. So if you want health leech and don't want to max this one out, 1 point is pretty darn good. Number 7, 1 point of Flinch free prevents most multiplayer knockbacks, specifically the gunners shooting you in the back. For me, it's a must-have for online play. More points of Flinch free does do some pretty cool things, so I'm going to let you explore that one on your own. Number 6, Foray. Often this skill is a freebie. It's an extra skill that just happens to be on your set. And 1 point of this will get you plus 10 to attack whenever a monster is afflicted with a status or blight. So this is a great option for poison weapons or people who like to use the beetles. If this skill already comes with your set, then picking up and using the beetles will pay off even more than they already do. Number 5, Wirebug Whisperer. 1 point of this skill gives you 30% more time with your extra Wirebug. Additional points don't extend this extra time, they only increase your Wirebug recovery rate. For most people, the normal recovery rate's fast enough, but the 30% extra time that 1 point of the skill gives you is really nice to have. Number 4, Chain Crit. The bulk of the benefit of this skill comes from the first point. You're going to get 10 to attack, or 8 to attack for ranged users. Additional points of the skill only give you modest increases in the attack boost, so the first point is by far the most valuable and probably the only one worth getting, unless you're making an element focused build. Note that for ranged weapons, the bonus is significantly reduced, simply because it's so easy to trigger the effect with a single shot. You essentially have 100% uptime with this skill while using ranged weapons. Number 3, Dereliction. The bonus you get from Dereliction depends on which scroll you're using. If you're using blue scroll, you're going to get 15 attack boost. If you're using red scroll, you're going to get 5 element boost. The longer you let this skill build up, the more attack boost you're going to get. Now, big warning for this skill, it does drain your health, and if you have 2 of the little dereliction birds, the little curio birds floating around you, you'll be able to do a switch skill swap and gain some life back. Now that's going to reset your birds back to 1, so you can't just spam this to heal. And a word of caution, if you're using this skill with Mail of Hellfire, you're not going to get both attack boosts at the same time since they're on different scrolls. The attack up for Dereliction is on the blue scroll, the attack up for Mail of Hellfire is on the red scroll. And since this skill drains your health, you have to be very careful with how you play with it. There are ways to reduce the health drain on it, and if you use this skill with Frenzy, you can recover any of your red health bar automatically from time to time. The big drawback with playing with Dereliction is if you get bumped by a small monster or even get nudged in any way by the large monster, you lose your red health bar. And so the recovery that Frenzy would give you disappears. This skill is pretty controversial as to whether or not you should be using it. And so if you don't want to have to deal with health management, you can get that 15 attack from a single point of Mail of Hellfire without having to worry about managing your health. Number 2, Bloodlust. 1 point of Bloodlust will infect you with the Frenzy Virus and give you 10 to attack and 5 to your element attack while you're infected. It will also drain your health bar. Now, consistently attacking the monster will force you to overcome the Frenzy Virus, and when that happens, you'll lose the attack boost and you'll gain 20% affinity. You'll also have the entire red portion of your health bar restored. And so for that reason, people like to pair this skill with dereliction. Bloodlust on its own is pretty strong, and a single point of Coalescence makes it even better. Which leads us to number 1 on the list, Coalescence. Whenever you overcome a blight or the Frenzy Virus, Coalescence will trigger. 1 point of this skill will give you 12 to your attack, 2 to your elemental attack, and status buildup plus 5%. This skill synergizes nicely with Bloodlust and Bubbly Dance because those 2 armor skills give you blights. It will even activate without those skills. For example, when you get blighted from a monster's attack, and then you eat a nullberry to remove the blight, and then Coalescence will trigger. It will also trigger when the blight wears off naturally. So there you have it. 10 awesome 1-point wonder armor skills. Let me know in the comments which ones I forgot to mention, and tell me which of these 10 you like to keep in your armor build. As always, subscribe to the channel and get on our Discord server for friendly chat, advice, builds, and finding people to play with. More cool stuff on the way.